What's up, everybody? This is the Bros Gone Wild podcast. Well, hello. Welcome back to episode 28 of the Bros Gone Wild podcast. It was a great one. Wow, holy mackerel. It was so good. And this is not related to the podcast, but I just finished 13 Reasons Why, and I am telling you, that is an intense show. Holy mackerel. I was basically just sitting there jaw dropped the last 40 minutes of the last episode, but yeah, so if you're looking for something, and it kind of changes how I live my day to day, and I just finished it. But anyways, this was a great podcast. We had some excellent discussions, so very knowledgeable, very interesting things we talked about. And I'm going to go on a little super mini rant, but I was just kind of reflecting on the whole podcast in general, listening to podcasts, being able to do podcasts, and all that kind of stuff. And I find myself so much better at day-to-day interactions. I find myself talking to people. I have way more interesting conversations with these people that I may have never met before, but just for the simple reason that I have done podcasts and I've listened to podcasts, they might be talking about a topic that I previously don't know much about, but just simply from listening to something, I can actually have a part in that conversation. And this is very important even for my internship. I can relate to people so much easier just from having experience and being able to create conversations out of nothing. It's pretty unbelievable, and gosh, I feel like a broken record saying it so much, but these things, doing these and recording these, I think are so valuable, and I am yet to really see the result or the benefit of doing these. And yeah, I'm starting to see hinders and starting to see a slight benefit in like my day-to-day and conversation with people, but long term, I think this is such an important thing to do. But enough of that. I don't want to keep talking about that. I wanted to keep this brief, of course, but in this episode 28, we get into great things. We talk about kids running long distances, changing genes of your children, genetically modifying children, solar panel roofing, China's clean energy initiative, going to prison in general, the Baltimore police tapes that were recently released, and many more things on top of that. So please enjoy this podcast, and never forget to enjoy the Bros. How we doing, boys?
Doing just fine.
Here, under the layer of my house, also known as the basement, and episode 28. Feels good. Summer's wrapping up and everything. My internship actually just finished, which is pretty freaking wild. And gosh, I was even talking to my parents about, like, that's a pretty big accomplishment to just kind of put that under my belt and move on in life. To have that kind of experience, that kind of connection. Did I ever tell you guys what the main? So we have this news director, Jane, flies to Washington D.C. She's like in touch with ABC headquarters, and she's big top dog and everything. Mm-hmm. Everyone's kind of scared of her too, and so I go into her office on Wednesday, and I finished on Friday. And I go into her office, I just said, "Hey, Jane, just in case I don't see you, I just wanted to say thank you so much for letting me bug you guys, being around." And of course, she first goes, like, "You didn't bug us at all." And we genuinely did help their new... Well, I did. I don't know how much the other interns do, in all honesty. But we genuinely help the news kind of function.
You had a couple stories that aired, right?
Oh, all the time. I had probably... by the end of the internship, I probably had like 10... stories that I wrote and aired on the news station, which is pretty impressive.
That's awesome.
And by the end of the internship, I was literally almost a reporter because they were assigning me stories in the morning meetings, and like I had some serious respect around there.
Nice.
But she's kind of just like tooting my horn and everything, and she's just like, yeah, I've been working here for 14 years, Josh, and I can genuinely tell you there's about maybe 4 interns that I can kind of think of that were really, really good in my head, and you are undoubtedly on that list. I was like, oh my god,
That's an awesome compliment.
it was extremely nice, and just overall, gosh, I was sad leaving. I was very sad leaving. Mm-hmm. I feel so great now just moving throughout the day. It's just a huge kind of weight off my shoulders. It feels better than when I finished school in a way.
Oh, because you don't really have much going on for the next couple of weeks.
And in a way, it's kind of like taking a super hard class and doing really well in the class. Mm-hmm. In a way, like you had, I don't know, it was just every time I went in there, it was kind of like a test. And now I finished, and it's pretty freaking sweet. But
yeah, that is awesome.
How many hours was that total?
I ended with, I'll probably end around like 320. I'm still gonna go in and help for a fundraiser, so about 320 hours is what I'll end up at. But
we're gonna start the Instagram live.
We're starting the
Just
Instagram
rotate,
live.
maybe, I don't know. But,
yeah. So it was pretty sweet. What about you guys? I mean, I don't mean to put you on the spot in any way, shape, or form, but I don't know. How have you guys been this summer?
Well, I don't know. I actually am gonna work probably almost up till we leave.
Are you excited till, like, I don't know, was work pretty successful this year? I mean,
yeah.
You had a pretty crazy summer, Jonah.
I feel like it works a lot. No, I can't complain. I mean, I went to Africa for 2 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of wild.
That was fucking awesome. So that was, I mean, that just makes everything so much better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you were MIA for a while.
I know.
You were just kind of...
It was kind of crazy.
it was like 3 weeks of my summer.
Yeah.
That
You were
was
just gone. It was kind of wild.
But no, it was awesome. And then I've been working a fair amount, so...
Yeah, no, I've just been reflecting.
I'm excited to be done.
Yeah, I've just been reflecting on my summer a lot. And it's been a grind, but it's been pretty fun, no doubt. But did you want to touch on the poll that we created about 5 seconds before we started?
We just posted it, so there's not... Well, there's 2 votes. It's not showing what it is. But it is, would you rather be homeless for a year or be in jail for a year?
Would I rather be homeless for a year or be in jail for a year?
Jail? No, that's not what I was just kind of assessing it. Hold on.
Dude, the more I think about this, the harder it gets.
I mean, depends what I'm in jail for. What am I in jail for?
Well, that's a very good point.
It depends where you're jailed.
Yeah,
it's like the main thing. It's like if it's like a maximum security, like I'm in with all the killers, then I might consider being homeless. But if I'm in like some federal...
How about we classify that it's a... Like, not a ridiculous crime. Like, a crime that you'd only be in jail for a year.
So, like no kids or children. Or
no, like you're not a molester.
Dude,
you just maybe...
they get it the worst.
Maybe you drove into, like, a building and they...
No, that's
not even that. I don't know. What gets you in jail for a year?
Like a white-collar crime. Like maybe I was stealing
Oh, that'd be pretty cool. Like, some internet crime? You're in jail for a year?
For
getting pulled over with a bunch of weed in your car, that'd be, what, a year?
Maybe.
I mean, like, if you're, like, a multiple-time offender, I don't know. Whatever. I think I'd rather be in jail for a year.
Jail. I mean, you're at least institutionalized and you're getting under a roof.
They're giving you meals. You got a bed.
That's the thing.
And you got the essentials you need to live. Yeah, the life is going to suck and that, but I think I would have to go with jail. You don't really, I mean, like, especially if you're in, like, a minimum security, you don't have a ton to worry about.
Right.
And dude, you just be so darn dirty all the time being homeless.
The only thing I can see being homeless is like you get to see a lot of like people and like you would learn a lot.
Exactly. It gives you a whole nother new outlook.
But it'd be tough.
It would be. It would not be easy. That's for sure. There's a guy, his name's Johnny Blue Eyes is what people call him. He went to jail for he actually started a protein ice cream company. And in this protein ice cream that he was shipping throughout the whole country, it was this massive thing. He was on Shark Tank for it. Mm-hmm. It was like a big business. He was actually putting cocaine into the ice cream. And so the federal police were following him around. They were like had him on locks they were spying on him for 2.5 years or something.
So, but my question is like, If they knew he was putting the coke in there, why would they spy on him?
They were trying to get substantial evidence to be able to put him in jail or something.
You would
along
think
those
they
lines.
would. You would think if they even had suspicion of it, though, that they would take the ice cream out of market. So you know what I mean? Like the fact that the federal government just like had suspicion of cocaine in this and let that go, that's fucked.
How do you just put cocaine in
like
ice cream? And just
That's pretty sweet.
How does the government just be like, okay, until we got solid evidence, we're not going to investigate. Like we're not going to stop
book them.
I mean, you don't have to arrest them, but at least go and run some tests, or something. You know what I mean?
Well, it would be like special delivery. It wouldn't be random people getting this cocaine ice cream.
Oh,
it would be okay. I'm going to deliver all this ice cream, and one of the 100 goes to a special customer because he bought 5 pounds of cocaine, and you give him an ice cream 5 pounds.
I thought you were saying that it was in every ice cream.
So did I. I thought you really put cocaine in every single pint.
I'm like, dude, that's fucked up.
Oh, yeah,
who does that?
Fucking people.
That's my bad. That's my bad.
Oh my god. Oh.
I didn't mean to explain it like that.
Holy crap. Oh, isn't that what it sounded like?
Oh, that's 100% what I thought.
Holy crap.
My fault.
No,
he was using his company to disperse cocaine to specific customers.
Gotcha.
So they're following him around and trying to get him and catch him right and stuff like that.
That's a lot different.
And so eventually, after, I don't know, 2.5 years of following him, they ended up putting him in jail. And he was in federal prison for something like 15 years.
I remember you telling me about this guy.
And this guy, literally, he sits there and describes prison, and it sounds like one of the coolest things of all time. He literally just talks about, because for one, the
federal prisons are different than like a state prison.
Yeah, very different, I think. And he just describes how literally he has made some of the best friends to this day, like undoubtedly, no questions asked. He's so bros with those people that it's almost
wasn't he in the same prison as the guy from Blow?
OJ?
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah. OJ. Anyways, no, I was just trying to get at. He was just trying to point out how, like, prison really wasn't that bad as long as you aren't a like a child molester or you're a snitch. Like, that's the two things. If you're not either of those, prison's not that bad. And the thing with federal prison is these guys are like a lot of them are very legit criminals, but they're in there for a long time, and all of them are so close with the police and so close with this and that the police, they aren't that strict, so they'll do stuff for them just to keep everybody happy. And if you keep the top dog happy and everything, then the whole prison runs smoothly. So these police are doing stuff in their favor and bringing them
just
things
to control,
just to make everybody happy. And it's just pretty wild to hear about all this crazy stuff and how prison doesn't seem that bad.
That's wild.
But have you guys ever? There was a show that came out where a guy would live with certain types of people for. I think it was either a week or a month or something like that, and he would document it. So one of the things he had to do was living with homeless people, and just kind of, I think he was in California living with all the homeless people there, and just trying to get by, and it was really interesting show because he would do things. He'd live as if he was an autistic person, like live in their eyes and show what it's like on a day-to-day basis, and you get into all these cool storylines. But I think he portrayed homeless people as it wasn't that bad in a way. Like, as long as it all depends on kind of where you are in a way.
Well, aren't those most of them are pretty close with each other? I think, aren't they? Like,
and they're all working together in a way.
Yeah.
And they, so for example, say these soup kitchens open up at certain times throughout the day. You kind of just move around with your pack, your bros that you kind of you move around and go. Yeah, you go to the places with all your friends, and you're kind of just moseying around to all these different soup kitchens or whatever that they need to be at and get their meals. And yeah, I mean, you're living on the streets. Like, I don't know, that'd be terrible. But at the same time, I mean, you're just chilling all day. And just you're relaxing with people. I mean, the ease of the lack of responsibility would be a whole nother thing too.
What?
All right, so what would going back to the poll, did you ever answer whether you'd be in jail or on the streets? Jail?
I think jail, yeah.
Dude, and you get chicks really easy after a year in jail.
No, I don't think that's true. Come on.
Bad guys. What about you, John?
Jail.
Jail.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, at first I was like, homeless. Because if you are a homeless person in New York City, which winters be terrible, but you can rake in untaxed $30,000 a year, no questions asked. I'm not kidding, dude.
No,
That's not even an exaggeration.
I remember you telling me that number.
Yeah. Some of the homeless people in New York will literally be homeless for majority of their day and then go home and literally have like nice car, have all this stuff. Like that's almost part of their day job. That's how they get some of their money.
That's sickening to me.
Like say you don't work on the weekends. All right, I'm going homeless.
I would beat somebody's ass. If I saw somebody take my money and if I thought they were homeless and they
Dude,
went home,
you hit the right street corner, you shake the right change, you never know what'll happen.
I would be so pissed.
I got a question for you guys. If you how do I frame this? I don't know. It was going to be a lottery question, but I kind of lost my train of thought. But I don't know. How do you guys feel about entering the lottery and scratch offs? And
I don't believe in it. I don't believe in relying on that or like doing it religiously. Some people.
No, I'll get one every now and again. I think I've had two.
It's fun sometimes.
When
sometimes.
the pot's huge.
It's always kind of
Why
like,
not?
Yeah.
I'll throw in.
But like
Exactly, but I don't play it on any type of regular basis.
Yeah. Some people do it way too much. I just don't get it.
You guys ever had a decent payout?
Never.
Never.
Nah, me either.
Nope.
I think the most maybe 10 from a
Dude, I don't
scratch
think I
off.
made anything.
$2 or $3 for me.
$2 is pretty common. We always get them for Christmas. Like that's a big gift.
Yeah, and then you can take it back and just get another one with the $2.
Right.
That's what I always end up doing.
Test your luck again, I guess.
Yeah. Go bang from it. Yeah, so I guess it's unanimous we're going to jail.
Yeah,
Just wanna
we'll all
make
go to
sure
jail. Yeah, I'll see you guys there.
It doesn't happen often. We're all unanimous.
They don't wear the stripes in jail anymore, do they?
The orange.
It's the orange now,
It's
right?
the burnt orange, right?
Yeah, it's a new era
Why is that?
for prisoners.
It's been like that for a while. I don't think have they ever worn stripes.
Is that just like kind of a pop culture myth?
Yeah, I don't.
Stripes?
What?
I don't know.
Like black and white stripes?
Yeah, it was that.
Because I don't know if I've
I
ever
feel like
seen
that's
that.
like, I don't, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
is your typical movie.
I think of like an
from the
old
60s.
movie.
Yeah. Oh,
Black
you got
and
a
white stripes.
burglar and then he gets caught and he's in the
Darn burglar.
shackles with the stripes.
Mm-hmm. I guess going on police and prison and stuff, did you guys see anything on the Baltimore police tapes that were recently released and kind of the New York police tapes and
This
things
is
like
the
that?
first thing I've heard.
So I think I read an article on it Tuesday this past week. So maybe, I don't know. Oh, no, it wasn't. Maybe, I don't know, 3 days ago, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, the policemen are required to wear body cameras. And so that's very understandable. And to be able to use things in court, that's a very valuable kind of resource. And so the way these body cameras work is in case a police officer is in a sticky situation and can't hit record right away, they automatically record 30 seconds behind them pressing it.
Oh, okay.
So that's just the way they always run. So if something happens, takes a second, and then they can hit it, and they have all that footage.
See, that's kind of fucked up that they have to press record on it.
I know. I think that's kind of weird.
But at the same time, if
it can't always be recording as well.
Right,
to a
like if
point.
shit's going down, the last thing I'm thinking of is pressing the record button.
Exactly. Like that's not gonna be your first train of thought.
I might have heard about this.
So, anyways, there's literally a video of these policemen in Baltimore where he's walking around with his buddies. He's got this bag of pills or bag of something. You can't hear any audio because it's not recording at that point. And you watch him take these pills, puts it inside of this Coke can, and sets it down. Him and his guys walk to the front of the house. You watch him mess with the camera, He hits play. He walks around. He's talking a little bit. Looks in an area. It's not the place where he put it, but he knows the whole time. Looks around again. Moves over to where he put the Coke can and the pills. Grabs the Coke can. Guys, I got something over here. Pulls it out and literally caught those people for grabbing pills, but completely planted it on camera. And he's like in massive trouble. And they recalled like 11 cases that they already had declared as a criminal or whatever that might have been.
Oh my God.
And so turns out this is happening in Baltimore, New York. This is happening.
They didn't know that the body cameras recorded 30 seconds before.
I'm pretty sure they told them, but they just probably didn't understand that concept. And it's just ridiculous.
I saw the footage and
it's disturbing.
It is. It makes you
insane.
Angry. It makes you angry.
Insane.
It's scary, dude.
And it brings
the fact that they could send you to jail for literally doing nothing.
Like, those aren't mine. Found them in your backyard.
Right.
How are they not yours? And they just planted them, and that's and at first I was like, what's the motive for this? Why do police officers want to have to throw people in jail? But I didn't necessarily read this, but this is just what I'm pretty sure the more cases they close, the more money they get. So I'm pretty sure, for example, they always say at the end of the month, police are giving out speeding tickets because they need to pay their bills or whatever. Because I think the more tickets they give out, the more money they make.
No, that's absolutely
And so
true.
I'm assuming it's very similar for those drug busts.
Wow.
If they get more drug busts, if they find more of these things, they make more money.
That's crazy.
And it just really proposes the question of how often does this actually happen?
Mm-hmm.
If this is just now being caught on camera, like how many people are in jail right now for doing absolutely nothing?
That's insane.
Yeah. It's really sad. It's a lot of responsibility to put in a human to be a police officer.
Yeah, it is. And those guys do not make enough money.
You couldn't pay me enough to be a police officer.
They don't. At all.
Yeah, this is not a police officer, but Flint Firefighters, and they go to fires all the time. It's nuts. Literally, we sit in the newsroom and would hear fire call here, fire call, all the time. And if you're just starting... Because you can start right out of high school, you can take a 6-month class to be a firefighter. They literally make minimum wage.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Firefighters, police officers, and EMTs make dick.
Yeah.
Not even dick.
It's unbelievable. Like, that is insanely difficult to live on. And these people are risking their lives in fires to save people.
Paramedics are running in and, saving people's lives.
It's just wild to me, the way that all works.
Yeah.
It's ass backwards. I mean, you'd think those people would be paid more because they're taking risks.
Especially a firefighter. And you can work your way up and get a lot more money, this and that. But the fact that you're starting out, you're risking your life to go into fires, and you're not making
police
more
officers
than $10.
too, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, you're in a line of fire every day.
Especially if you're in like a big city or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Flint police officer.
You never know what you're rolling up to as a police officer, dude.
Right.
God, I did a few.
People are crazy too. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the thing, is like a lot of times they're not dealing with rational people.
Mm-hmm. And just ever since this whole police revolution we're having against them, in a way, just the whole American society against police officers, it's a lot of pressure being won. I mean, people are like, "Oh, you're gonna shoot me! I'm gonna get this on camera," and they're throwing cameras in your face. You just can't do anything without being quote unquote wrong, according to them, and it'd just be a stressful life.
Yeah, it would be.
I couldn't imagine. Do you guys have anything you wanted to maybe touch on during this casty?
I don't know. I had an interesting article I thought I'd bring up. So there was an article on my phone that gave me a little alert, and it said that we are now capable of modifying human embryos before they're born. So
I saw that. I didn't read it.
You can somehow, with a machine, alter and literally hand construct a human being.
This is the first time they've successfully done it.
Yeah, right. And so
So that's a huge thing because, like, we talked about a lot in, like, genetics classes. If you can literally go in and, like, change the genes, like, you'd be like, all right, like, I want him to, like, be taller. Like,
blue eyes.
Yeah, like, you can...
Whatever.
You know, I don't know if it's, like, that pinpointed yet, but, like, eventually that's where they want to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they could go in, and if they find, like, your kid has, like, a disease... You
Maybe
can fix
change
that.
it. Yeah.
Like Downs or something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine sitting on a computer, dragging eyes, dragging... I want his hair to be a little, like, lightish brown. If you could do that one day...
We'd be a good-looking race.
That raises the question of morality. Like,
is that even, like, a human at
should
that
be
point?
Legal?
In a way. Yeah.
You're engineering...
Oh, no, I don't really think that would be considered being human. It's like printing off something.
Okay,
right?
yeah. At the same time, but they are humans. Like, I see both sides. I see
both sides.
I don't think it should happen, but I mean, they're not any less of a human. They're just their traits were chosen for them. You know what I mean? Like, their mind.
They can't do anything about it. It's
they didn't do it. Yeah, like they didn't do anything.
These people just came how they were. Like when they're coming up. I mean, they don't. But then so do robots, and like they don't have the choice.
Oh my god!
Like I don't know. Like
I understand what you're saying, but no.
I feel like you have to draw the line about. I feel like you could call that inhumane if you start creating people. Because once you create people, that's when
you're playing.
They're in a way they're how you created them, and they're not people. They're creations.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. What would you guys make?
Yeah, so I was just gonna say. So imagine when by the time
LeBron James.
Well, yeah, right. So like,
dude,
10
could
years
you
from
imagine if you're mixing up race and stuff in your baby, like changing the genes?
Oh my god,
that'd be sweet.
You're having an Asian baby. You have a African American baby.
Like 4 kids of like all different ethnicities.
That'd be cool.
They have like a shuffle button, like shuffle
shuffle all the characteristics,
it's
just see what it lands on.
Random suicide, like in sports games.
Oh my gosh!
Or you got 2 random fish. That's the way it works. That's all. That's the only way you can pick.
That's awesome.
Take like 2 days to finally be like, all right, let's do the suicide.
We're going Suey.
Oh my god.
Wow.
It was so funny. This is just going on the kids. I saw this video on Twitter, and it was people these days. I don't want to say that. I didn't mean to say that. People in general just try and find funny ways to reveal. It cracks me up, like revealing that you're having a boy, and it's like a blue party, like that kind of stuff. So this husband and wife did it with I think it was a water balloon. Mm-hmm. And so the water balloon inside had food coloring or whatever coloring to be blue or pink. And so it's this video of this lady tossing a water balloon, and it's a pitch, but it's a little high inside. And so he checks on it, and then it splats on the floor, and she goes, "Are you kidding me? Why didn't you swing?" But it was like not a great pitch, so he didn't swing.
You have to swing. It's a water balloon.
You have to swing.
No matter what. Take a step back, and I mean the thing couldn't have been coming in that high.
It was like a bar stool thing, and like you can't swing at a bad pitch, like it's instinct.
You can't, dude.
That's so
I thought it was so funny.
You let that go, man. You gotta let one go.
Get your pitch.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. It cracked me up.
She has a whole bucket of like water balloons in case. She's like, all right, we got a couple more.
Down. Yeah, that's great. It's made me crazy point in our lives when we're going to weddings.
It's gonna be fun,
our friends are having kids.
I know. A couple of the girls at their urgent care had recently gotten married, and they were telling stories about their wedding, and it was
Bachelor
awesome.
parties.
That'll be fun.
Oh my gosh.
Bachelorette parties.
Yeah, that'll get crazy. Where would you guys go if you had to pick a place to have your...
Like you're saying, like if it was like a destination.
Bachelor party?
Like to go someplace for
with
a
the
bachelor
boys?
party.
Oh,
yeah, with the boys.
Vegas.
You go to Cali or Vegas?
Yeah. Vegas for sure, dude.
I've never been. Vegas seems like a dirty ass place to have your bachelor party.
No, dude, Vegas isn't. Oh, I mean, you can find the dirty.
No, I'm sure.
If you
For
want
some
the
reason,
dirty,
that's
like,
the
you can
image
get the
I
dirty.
have.
No, you can, but it's really not that bad. Caesars is dope. Caesars has a mall that's like the size of Great Lakes.
Is that the actual Caesar's Palace? Does Caesar actually live there?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I gotta go to Vegas.
It's fun.
I gotta go to Cali, man.
Have you never
I
been?
know, and I want to go so
Dude,
bad.
we went
Where,
to
like LA?
San Diego.
San Diego
Yeah.
is the truth. And
Is it?
Oh man, we went with Brad.
I want to go so bad.
It was so much fun, dude. And the best part about that trip was Mr. Austin basically had a busy day all day. And we'd wake up in the morning. And the coolest thing is Cali is 3 hours behind us. Mm-hmm. So I was waking up literally at 5 a.m. as the sun was rising. And just, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. and we'd go out and we'd do all this stuff. And we'd get to bed we'd get back to our hotel at 10 p.m. and just be dead.
Yeah.
We would just be doing stuff literally all day. And it was just me, Brad, and Andrew. And we had no responsibilities really because we would take an Uber everywhere. We'd be going to these monuments, checking out these nature hikes. It was so fun. And all we had to say was, yeah, we'll be back around 5 p.m. And that was it. And we'd be out for the whole day.
Nice, but for a bachelor party.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go on nature hikes on my bachelor party.
No.
I'm going clubbing for that, dude. You can club in San Diego.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
Tiki
Venice.
bar.
It'd be cool to go to
Sandy
Venice
Boobies. Tiki bar.
for it. Tiki. I don't know where I go. It's a tough one.
Mexico would be fun.
Mexico would be.
Go to Canada. No.
Marcelo.
Mexico, but
No.
I don't know. Do people go places for their bachelor parties?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think that would be. It's not uncommon.
No, I don't. I mean, not
Your
everybody
last
does.
hoorah.
Yeah, right.
Not everybody does, but
Did you know swans mate for life?
that's
Really?
random, but
Just thinking marriage.
I fucking hate swans.
Things are
Swans
dangerous.
are nasty.
They are nasty animals.
There's
They
one
attack people, don't they?
Yeah, there's one at the fountains.
Have you ever
She's a
Lola,
nasty
yeah.
bitch, dude. Lola.
Lola, yeah.
Lola?
God, yeah, she is a nasty bitch. She hisses.
That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
You get
Wait,
close to those
how does she
things.
hiss?
Hey, you get close to those things. You've never seen anyone get attacked. That's something I should look
Well,
up.
we-
We've been close. We used to fuck with it a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
All the time.
Buzzard's Tower.
Oh, where what? Oh, that's a stupid thing. Never mind. I water the flowers over there, and there's a birdhouse that whenever I go, this bird's like freaking out while watering these
that's
flowers.
scary.
It is kind of scary.
Dude, do you remember last year, Date and I were working? We literally watched a hawk fly down, pick up a squirrel. Like swoop down, pick up a squirrel, and fly up into a tree.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. This bird was massive.
It was nature at its finest point.
I kind of love that.
Incredible.
Dude.
Yeah, dude, like I don't like when people like feel bad when the fucking lion attacks the gazelle. I'm
Circle
like,
of life.
fuck no, dude.
Circle of
That's how
life.
it works.
That's how it works.
It's evolution, baby.
It is.
You gotta learn somehow.
Yep. It happens. It's always been like that.
Yeah. I kind of wish it was still more often. Like,
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
Jeffrey
Like, why
Dahmer over
don't
here.
we
God.
natural selection? Oh man. This is going completely 180. I saw this really Elon Musk released solar panel roofing. And so it's this roofing that a big complaint with you can
no, go ahead.
interrupt if you want.
No, go ahead.
Big complaint with the previous solar roofing was it's like these stupid looking panels on your roof, and no one really wants these panels, and I think they were really bad in certain weather conditions, like they couldn't withstand, and so these solar panels, you couldn't really pick between two houses whether, like, if you show me two homes with solar panels and one doesn't, I'd be like, I don't know which one. They look literally
The new
looks-
ones?
Yeah, the ones he just
Can't
came
really
out
tell.
with. Can't tell at all.
My professor in econ was saying that like in China, they're starting to do that. Like, put it on everybody's roofs, and like
What?
in China, like they don't have a choice. Like, they knock on your door and they say, "Hey, we're putting this roof in."
So
Not can we put the roof in? We're about to do it.
There was this big political thing with China and us, and China right now is almost trying to make. So, did you guys watch the Last Week Tonight where we stepped out of? Trump took us out of
The Paris climate
thing, and so it was like extremely insulting to other nations for us to do that.
Dude, the only 3 nations that aren't in it are us, Syria, and like one other country.
So ever since we've done that, China has ramped up. They're putting hundreds of billions of dollars into solar energy,
make us look bad.
And they're trying to make us look horrible. And I kind of love it in a way, like force us to do something.
Yeah.
And it's super cool. They're doing that's like all they're doing right now, and it's really crazy.
Solar power,
hydropower, windmills everywhere.
They have floating windmills out in the middle of the ocean.
Like they're doing something.
Because think about how windy it is out there.
It's very windy.
They get so much and they float out in the middle of the ocean.
That's a good idea.
Same with solar panels, I think.
Wow.
We talked about this
that's cool.
In class.
Terrifying.
Yeah. I don't know. That's pretty much it. I guess I wanted to, but turns out these solar panels that Elon Musk is starting to actually put on homes now, they have by far the best hail rating of any roofing that's out right now. By far the best rain and windstorm rating. They're like top-notch durable. Can't even tell they're there. And all you have to have, they're extremely expensive, whatever. And basically it's this box or some sort of thing you put in your garage, stores all the energy for you, and that's how you can be basically self-sufficient. Powering your car, powering your whole home.
You get plenty of energy from the...
Obviously depending on where you live or how that's working, but for the most part.
Like if I were to get into my home now, I wouldn't notice the difference.
What do you mean notice the difference?
Like with my power, like would my light speed dimmed? Would I run out of power occasionally?
Well, no.
Warm water, like would it run like a water heater and everything?
So I think the way it works is it stores energy. And so it'll use what it can, and then say it runs out. Say it's nighttime, runs out of energy, kickstarts the other energy source.
It's like a hybrid.
So think about like the Ford cars that use electricity and then switch over to gas. That's kind of how it is with using the electricity that you got from solar and then switching over when you don't have enough.
Interesting.
So I don't think your lights would be crappy or anything along those lines. It would just be your bill would be a lot cheaper per se.
Right.
And say you don't use your energy for a while. Maybe you're not home on vacation. I think a lot of that is stored in this thing in your garage.
Wow.
So you might come back and have energy for the next week if you had no sunlight.
That's insane
per se. But
they store energy in a box.
Yeah. What's pretty wild, I don't know if it's still the case now, but the way we get our energy and the way we get electricity to make electric cars, it's actually more of a carbon footprint to
make those cars
to drive an electric car than it is to drive a gas car.
Why?
Because
we use coal and we use all this crap to make electricity. Yeah. That it's less of a carbon footprint if you have like a truck.
For now,
exactly.
In 2040, I think is what he said. My professor, again, we talked about everything in econ.
Yeah, totally.
He said that Germany is like either in the process of passing it or had already passed something where any car bought after 2040 has to be an electric car. They will not sell any more gasoline-powered cars. You can have it if you have one, but
your grandfather did.
You can't buy a
That's cool.
Buy a gas-powered car.
They won't make new ones after 2040.
I'm really curious on when they're going to draw an ordinance on self-driving cars. Because at some point, they're probably going to say the same thing for self-driving cars. You have to have one by 2040, say.
Right.
I wonder when that will be.
Yeah, it's gonna. I feel like self-driving cars. I feel like are gonna have a rough beginning.
Yeah. No, totally.
But as they start to come out more and more, the more that are on the road, the better they'll become. I feel like.
They already look pretty promising, though.
Dude,
I mean,
who knows where cars will be in 20 years?
Oh, well, it'll be like
2040 is a long time.
I was talking about this with my dad. I'm like, it's weird to think because, like, like your parents are like, oh, we never had we didn't have cell phones when we were growing up, this and that. And then, like, the thing that we're going to tell our kids is we had to drive ourselves places.
Yeah. Right.
Like, I ain't be able to go shut the door and fall asleep and wake up somewhere. Like, I actually had to stay up and drive for 5 hours if I wanted to go up north or something like that.
Dude, that's so true.
That's weird.
That is weird to think about.
It really is. We've kind of grown up in a really cool period.
Yeah, we have.
In terms of, I was playing on a little Game Boy when I was younger, and now I have a system in every room or whatever that is, and just to see the evolution of cell phones since we were younger to move on to what they are now, we've seen a lot of evolution of technology.
We have.
When we were super young, like, it wasn't fully developed, so we weren't like totally engulfed in technology. When we were like super young, like now, like all these little kids are on their iPads, like
playing Minecraft every single day. Like, that wasn't us, thank God.
I mean, we still play a fair amount, but like it's nothing like it is.
It's a little concerning.
We kind of have grown up with the technology. We like as we get older, the technology kind of just gets doper and doper.
But that's anybody.
Yeah, but I mean. I don't know. We kind of started from ground zero though when it really started to get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's cool. I'm glad I grew up now. I'm glad I grew up when I did. I'm glad I'm not growing up right now.
Yeah, same.
God, it would suck to play or like to sit there and I'm locked on the iPad, my mom's iPad, and all that crap. It'd just be exhausting. I don't know. I just feel like a twerp if I did that. Oh wow, I don't know what that was, but the one so the Crim's coming up in Flint, massive event, and there's Back to the Bricks, and that's what I'm actually going back to help out at the station for, and there we did a special feature story on. They're trying to do one each week leading up to the Crim, and so me and this camera guy covered a 8-year-old kid that's run 30 road races and runs half marathons, running the 10 mile in the Crim. It was crazy.
How old?
Girl, and she's 8 years old in second grade. Going into second grade, not even like graduated.
That's unbelievable.
30 road.
Dude,
I've literally won.
I've
done like one road race.
I don't even think that is like healthy.
Well, that's an interesting part. A lot of parents are disgusted by her.
It's concerning.
She was talking about that in the interview. She's like, parents give me dirty looks all the time. It's crazy because she run. But so the way it works with their kid is both. So the husband and wife, they're both runners. They're very into running. They do marathons. They do half marathons, and so these kids grow up around it.
Like probably getting pushed in the stroller and
exactly. And then one day the girl, the 6, I think she started at maybe 5 or 6. She goes, "Can I go for a run with you?" And the next thing you know, that's kind of their mother-daughter time, and so they're running half marathons together. They're running this and that together, and she's by no means is it the mom saying, "Hey, let's go for this race." It's way, way, way more of the kids saying, "Mom, I found this race online. Can we please go run this race here?"
Wow.
Like, yeah, mate. Yeah, I guess we can. Like that kind of engagement.
That's crazy.
Dang.
And this kid just, and I think a big reason she likes it is she's the only, so the age group is 1 to 12. And she's the only person that's 12, at least younger than 12, that's running a half marathon. So she's getting these first place trophies and medals, and she's like, "Yeah, I love the cookies and bananas at the end."
So
it was a very cool thing, but it's crazy. I've run one road race.
Wow.
And she's done 30, and she's only 8.
That's unreal, dude. 8 years old is so young.
That is young as
30.
hell. It's hard to wrap your mind around how little that is.
that motivates me. I need to run more.
I know.
My gosh.
Running's pretty cool, but at the same time, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something I wouldn't mind doing a little more often.
You used to do it a decent amount, right?
I really stepped out of it.
Gains got in the way.
Yeah. I don't know. I might start pretty soon here. I love, one of my favorite things is biking to Independence Oaks Park and then doing a 2.5 mile loop around the lake and then biking back. And it's a great
Nice.
workout. But yeah. I guess that's pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Anything? Gosh, me and my dad my family. We were watching Ultimate Frisbee U.S. Open upstairs while we were eating dinner. That is a great, incredible sport to watch.
Yeah,
What sport?
Ultimate Frisbee.
Oh, it's so fun to play.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, and gosh, so the teams, I'm pretty sure you have to have a certain amount of girls in at one time. I'm telling you, these girls were some of the better athletes I've seen in sports. Like, these girls are diving, making catches, flicking it with their wrist.
The highlights are so fun.
Oh,
to
yeah,
watch.
they are.
Dude, yeah, I was really actually engaged with watching this Ultimate Frisbee. And at first I was like, okay, what else is on? And then,
You'll get a really sweet SportsCenter top 10 play from Ultimate Frisbee every so often. And
Yeah.
It'll be crazy.
you just idolize the ability these people have, and however they catch it is how they're going to throw the next one.
It's right out of their hand.
It's right out of their hand. They catch it with their opposite hand. They'll even toss it with it. It's so impressive to see the way they flick, and it's great. I was very impressed with Ultimate Frisbee.
Frisbees are like low key harder than you would think they'd be to throw. I can't throw it like forehand.
I can't
no, me
really
either.
forehand flick it either.
No,
We should do. I have in my trunk. We should play Ultimate Frisbee at Central.
that's right. I don't have
Over
I don't
the-
have discs or anything.
I have discs that we can all use.
Oh hell yeah!
So
I'd
when
be
we get
down
out to
to
school,
play.
we should go. Listen to this. We could do a podcast while we played Ultimate Frisbee. Like, we could walk around.
Frisbee golf.
Yeah. Or Frisbee golf. You're right. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
You're good.
We could walk around with our mics, record a podcast. If we got it,
That would be extremely hard to
that'd
do.
be pretty fun though.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It was just, I don't know.
To be
I'm not
determined.
saying we're gonna do it, but I'm just saying we can start trying to do fun stuff with recording podcasts.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm saying that, like, Joe Rogan did a podcast with Ari Shafir, and they literally went on a nature hike, threw in 45 pounds plates in their backpacks, and just did a hike. And we're just chatting, walking around, looking at nature, and just talking. And it was one of the funnier podcasts I listened to, because they're just dicking around out there, having a blast. And I'm dying laughing for all of it. But
That's funny.
all I'm saying is we could get some variability. It'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Is there anything in sports that we should maybe, like, any cool things going on?
Dude, I've
or-
been out of it. I haven't really seen a whole lot.
Yeah, I was telling Dave, I worked 40 hours at the station Monday through Friday, and then I probably did another 10 hours of calls throughout that. So I did 50 hours in 5 days. It's pretty
Yeah.
wild.
It's a bitch.
And finally, like I said, it's so much relief being done.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
It's 40 hours of more free time.
I know. It's crazy.
That's a lot of hours.
Yeah. But all right, I guess that pretty much does it, guys.
Alrighty.
We will see you next week. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Well, look at you. Thank you so much for listening to the entirety of episode 28. I hope you enjoyed our banter. And if you want to find us on Twitter, you can go to @BGW Podcast. You can find us on YouTube by typing in Bros Gone Wild Podcast. Alongside Instagram, you can type in Bros Gone Wild Podcast. We are on Facebook. It's a mediocre Facebook. What else? SoundCloud. Just type in Bros Gone Wild Podcast. Should be able to find us that way. Or if you want to just find a link to all of our sites or all of our things, you can go to joshbonzime.com, and that's there's a separate page on there, and yeah, you can see where the legend himself resides on the web. So I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next Sunday. Cheers.
Deep